All right, we'll get started here just to keep everyone's schedule intact. My name is Wyatt LeBeau. I'm a commercial sales associate here at GreenSpark Solar. This is an intro to REAP, the Rural Energy for America program through the USDA, and how solar can support rural and agricultural businesses. We'll be going through a little bit about GreenSpark, who we are, what we do, maybe some projects that we've done in the past, and we'll walk through these steps and explain a little bit of the details involving the REAP grant process and what that can entail for your business. And yeah, we'll get started here. So, a little bit about us. We're a cool company, as you can see. Some of our folks there from our all company retreat a couple years ago. We're a local company here in Rochester, based out of Ontario, New York. We are committed to supporting our community, creating fiercely local, cost-effective, clean energy options for homes and businesses for over 2 decades now. So we just had our 20-year anniversary. Was that 2 years ago now? So we've been in the industry a long time. We have a great track record with the projects that we've done. We have some accolades as well. We're a certified B Corp benefit corporation. We use our business as a power for good, not just profits. So we do have a triple bottom line, like we like to say, of people, planet, and profit. We're also an industry leader. We're certified with NYSERDA, the New York State Quality Installer Program, and we were named 2022 top contractors by Solar Power World. We're experts on New York State policies and incentives. So anytime, depending on your business type or your location, or even in the residential space, we follow the policies internally and can guide you to tell you exactly what is available for your specific application. We're also a member and co-owners of the Amicus Solar Cooperative. It's a group of like-minded solar companies from the United States and from Canada that kind of pools their buying resources together, enables us as smaller companies to buy in bulk and compete with those larger national chains that are out there. So it really puts us in a good position to provide savings for our customers and pass those savings on to you. Some other things here, we're in the Rochester Top 100 Greater Chamber of Commerce. Also was awarded one of the top workplaces in 2024 as well for our region. So some basics here. Why go solar? Obviously, for our commercial customers that we speak with, there's always different things that attracts someone to solar, right? Whether it's the sustainability goals that you have in play, or it's just looking for a return on investment. But you also have low predictable energy costs with solar, so we can get your rates down to a point where you're not going to see them, gaining 3-4% each year on your utility bill. The solar will actually kind of mitigate that cost over the years and bring that cost down to you. Reducing operating expenses, that kind of goes hand in hand with your electricity bill there. A lot of our customers come to us looking to achieve some sort of corporate sustainability or ESG goals, environmental sustainability goals. So we will kind of work with them and guide them to show them some different options, whether it's a different size system that they have planned, or whether that's through a different flexible structure that we have from like an on-site project, an off-site project, different sort of financing or leases that are available to them. We really work with our customers to try to guide them and show them, what financially would make the most sense. And definitely some interesting things here that we found over the years is, a lot of folks tend to gravitate towards businesses that are trying to be sustainable. They'll actively go out of their way to apply for jobs that are with companies that have ESG and sustainability goals. And even talking with some of our manufacturing customers, there's need for those types of businesses to transition to having sustainability goals in place for their vendors to continue working with them. So definitely gaining an edge over your competition in that aspect. New York State does have some very ambitious climate goals ahead of them. Right now, they're looking at 70% of New York State electricity being sourced from renewables by 2030. So those are some hefty goals that we have ahead of us, and we are on pace to beat that right now in New York State, which is great. And that's through all the work that GreenSpark has been doing and other sustainability minded companies as well. 100% all electric passenger vehicles by 2035. I know there was just some legislation that was passed earlier last week regarding EV chargers on new buildings, things like that are being imposed already. So we're definitely seeing that transition there to an all electric grid eventually. And then 100% zero emissions for new building constructions by 2027. We're seeing that more and more with some of our developers and new buildings going up, and our customers asking for solar to be incorporated on almost all of those. And then 100% emissions-free electricity by 2040. So we're well on our way to meeting those goals, and we're happy to help you figure out your solution as well. So as you might know, there are a lot of incentives that are available for solar right now. Some of our customers even obtaining up to 100% of those costs being recouped by those incentives within the first year or two. And we'll get into a little bit of those details here with the USDA REAP grant, which has definitely helped those customers obtain that. So what is REAP? REAP is what we use the acronym for the Rural Energy for America program through the USDA. Through this and through the Inflation Reduction Act, it allows agricultural producers and rural small businesses. So I think that's a good distinction there. It doesn't have to be just an agricultural producer. The USDA, even though it's through the USDA, they also are offering this program to just rural small businesses outside of any agricultural products they're producing. So this is pretty far reaching, pretty much outside of any metropolitan area in New York State. You would be eligible just based on your company size and your geographical location. So just a little blurb here. With solar energy, farms and businesses can protect themselves against unpredictable rate hikes, all while saving money, taking an important step towards energy independence and resiliency. So what's included in this, right? We have the grant itself. It's capped at 50% of the project costs with a maximum grant amount of $1 million. So you could potentially have a $2 million solar project, and one half of that, $1 million, you would be eligible for in a grant form. And that is outside of any of the other incentives that we'll be talking about that any other solar project would be able to apply for. There's also some guaranteed loans in this program as well. Maximum loan amount 75% of the total project cost, not to exceed 25 million. And there's also loan guarantees for 80% of the loan amount. There are some deadlines to know about. The REAP grant, you are eligible to apply for that on a quarterly basis. So this has been going on for the past year and a half now with the current plan and the current funding. The next deadline is, I guess the end of June here, but it would be too late to apply for that one currently. So the next one we would have our customers apply for is September 30th, which according to the USDA website is their last known deadline. That may be likely to extend, but it's possible that the funding structure goes down a bit in percentages from 50% to something less than that. So we really are pushing our customers to kind of get involved early and get all the details they need to apply for that September deadline to maximize their incentives that are available to them. There's talks about, like I said, that being extended. There's some legislation right now with the farm bill going through going through DC. So we'll know more about that later in the year. But we're hoping that does get extended for our customers because this has been a very successful program for us. So who's eligible? Like I said, it's any agricultural producer, no matter where you're located. And so that's 50% of their gross income coming from agricultural operations. I guess that's how the USDA is defining that. So we would just have to make sure that you're eligible for that before applying. But typically, what we've seen is any agricultural company or uh, farm being eligible. And then small businesses in eligible rural areas, populations of 50,000 or less. And we actually have a nice little map here that our team put together that kind of shows you the wide-reaching span of this. So anything in the green there, you'd be eligible for. And if you really did want to check your exact location, if like you're right on the edge of an outline here, on the USDA website, under the REAP grant program, there's a map you can search your exact location and see if you're in an eligible area for that small business portion of it. So a little bit about the application here. Like I said, September 30th, 2024 is the last known application deadline. We are really pushing our customers to apply for that. The grant writers that on our team that we work with, it's a pretty substantial grant. So we try to have at least a month to write the entire grant. Anything longer than that is great, but definitely longer than a month would be the easiest way to make sure we get your application in before the deadline. And we support you through that whole process. We would work with our grant writer to make sure you have all the documentation submitted properly. And on our end, we would supply all the designs and engineering that would need to be done ahead of time to apply and make sure you're getting your full funding properly. So, like I said, on top of that REAP grant, which is 50% of the total project costs, there's also just the standard commercial incentives that are available right now that you're able to take advantage of as well. And just to touch on those a little bit, so federally, you have a 30% federal tax credit. That is in you're able to take that for the next, I believe, 7 years. That started at a 10-year extension through the Inflation Reduction Act. We're already a couple years into that. So we still have a lot of time with that 30% federal tax credit that will be available. That also applies to any not-for-profit institutions. There's a direct pay incentive. Since you're not a taxable entity, you'll be able to take that 30% as well. And then there's also bonus credits. A lot of our customers are building affordable housing. Some customers building on brownfield sites that are being developed. Those are both at 10% adders there. We also have accelerated depreciation on the federal level. That is for taxable entities, and you can write off the depreciation of your equipment on your taxes each year. Currently, there's a 60% bonus depreciation that you're able to write off in the first year, and then that transitions to a standard depreciation schedule after that for the next 5 years. On the state level, through NYSERDA, we have a first come, first served block grant, which we like to say. That's 25 cents a watt up to 750 kilowatts. So depending on the size of your system, that's a pretty substantial amount of grant there, as opposed to the federal side where it's a tax credit. This is an upfront grant that we would use to take your gross cost of your system and decrease that by the grant amount. So we can work with you to show you exactly what that would look like on your books to see if it makes sense for you. On a larger scale, there's a 12 cent a watt NYSERDA grant up to 1 megawatt and higher. And then there's a prevailing wage adder as well, since we'll need to have prevailing wage on those larger projects of 12.5 cents a watt. So really nice grant incentives there through New York and through the federal government to help you build these projects. So we talked a little bit about this, the 30% tax credit. It's good for 10 years. You know, the credits can also be used on standalone storage as well. If you're looking for any storage opportunities on your project. Like I said, the credits may be transferable in some instances. Uh, for nonprofits, they definitely are, and we would have to, on a case-by-case basis, look at your project, and see if it's able to be transferable. Those, if you're not able to take those tax credits yourself, if you don't have that tax liability, there are ways to recoup those savings. Um, and then I touched on this a little bit earlier, but 10% bonus credits for domestic production, which we're hoping to have here very shortly. There's been a big push for domestic production of solar modules in the United States, and there's a couple big plants that are starting to produce those here. So, we'll soon be able to take advantage of that on a much larger scale. There's also it's bonus credits for low income offtake, low income housing development, affordable housing developments, energy communities, and sites that are built on brown fields. So, we've gone through a little bit about the incentives. Obviously, there's still the question of, how is this going to be funded? A lot of this pricing is based on, being able to come up with some sort of funds to fund the project, and then the tax credits and the REAP grant will reimburse you for what's spent. So we do have a lot of customers going through the financing options right now. A lot of our customers use the traditional financing options that they're comfortable with, that they've been working with lenders throughout the years here for their facilities. So they're, you know, we do also have solar financing. It's a 0% down product, very easy approval process with a local company here that we've partnered with. And, you can finance up to 100% of your project with our folks. So now that we've had a chance to get a few of our customers through the USDA REAP grant process, we did want to share just a case study of what that would look like and show you a little bit of the innards of it. So this is a project that we did for Cherry Lawn Fruit Farms out in Sodus, New York, just a bit east of our office location. This was originally 158 kW, and installation was on their cold storage facility for their fruit farm. So it took care of 100% of their electric loads, saved them around $26,000 a year. And throughout that warranted lifespan of the system, you're looking at about $650,000 of savings. They used a short-term loan, and looks like they were successful in obtaining the USDA REAP grant. I believe they're in the process right now of their second application. As you can see here, there was an addition that was added on to this cold storage facility that we didn't build on initially. And they're going through the process now of having a second REAP grant, which they already obtained, and are building the second array location on that unused space. So this customer actually had such good luck with the first USDA REAP grant a couple of years ago. They decided to apply for it again, since their operations expanded, and electricity loads obviously went up with the cold storage facility being expanded. So we were able to replicate a similar size system on the available space, and the REAP grant again covered 100% of their costs there. This is a more recent project of ours. Excuse me. This is a big 441 kilowatt system, Mastercraft decorators in Macedon, New York. So unlike Cherry Lawn Fruit Farms, this is not a agricultural business at all. They are a production facility for glassware, but they are in Macedon, which is the road that they are on. Their specific area is considered rural, and they are a small business, categorized as a small business, so they are able to apply for that REAP grant. They're estimated to see a 90% reduction in their utility bill. We would love to get them to 100. I think it was just their level of comfortability with the size of the project. We help them receive the REAP grant, and this project is estimated to save them just under $50,000 a year, and compounded over 25 years, you're looking at just under one and a half million there. Excuse me. So, like I said, you don't have to be an agricultural company to really get started with the REAP grant. You just have to be in that geographical rural area and be categorized as a small business, and we can work with you and make sure you're qualified for those. And then here's just a kind of a deeper dive into some of the financials that we saw with this project. On the left here, you'll see the same size and the estimated production in kilowatt hours from the solar system. And that estimated production is really what we use to, we've put that in our financial calculator to show you exactly what your savings will be based on the electricity rate at your location. But this system came in just under $900,000 with the NYSERDA incentive based on the 25 cents a watt. It came in at 109, and then your tax credit depreciation of the equipment on the federal level there. So this customer came in, contracting around, $780,000. They're going to be getting their tax credit, their depreciation, and then their REAP grant came in at 426, which is half the gross system price. So not only are they saving on their electric 50 grand a year, they're recouping everything plus a little bit extra from that REAP grant within a year of the REAP grant being distributed to them. So I think this is a great example of showing how low of a cost a system like this could be, and the savings are just going to be immediately, essentially. So we have a very happy customer that's hopefully going to be happy for the next 25, 30 years with this system, and almost completely paid for already. I think the distribution of the grant is in place at this current point in time. I think the system has to be operational for a month or two, and then the USDA rep will come out and assess everything, and then the funds will be distributed. So really successful project there. So we'd like to stop here and just see if anyone has any questions that I haven't answered yet. You can throw them in the chat below. My email will also be here, and everyone should be getting a follow-up email after this presentation. You can always shoot me an email and just ask us any questions you have or any concerns. And myself or one of our team here would be happy to walk you through the process and steps to see if you're eligible for this grant. So I'll leave the chat open here for a minute or two, and we'll see if we get any responses. And then, we can end a little early today. Get everyone back to lunch.